embracing economic stability, technology, and security in times of rapid growth. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
This is a marathon, not a sprint. I hope I don't have to do a marathon by the end of today. So thank you so much to our amazing last speaker. This is Daniel Robus, the CRO of Stay Contactable. Take it away, Daniel.
Well, we don't know if I'm amazing. We'll get the verdict straight afterwards. But I'm talking about the difference between being in the business for the now and being in the business for the long term. And what we've said is that there's 3 key areas to look at. I've got 10 minutes for this thesis. I promise I'm not going to stand between you and a glass of wine or a beer or a cool drink. What I'd like to say is that in times of rapid growth, the important thing to remember is that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And what do I mean by that is pretty depicted by this slide. Who knows the gentleman on the left? Usain Bolt, 9.58, isn't it? Amazing. What? 9.98. Amazing. The guy on the right, anybody in the audience? You can see his name, Sorokin, Alexander Sorokin. He has about 5 world records, including the 100-miler, and he did that in 10 hours 51. Let me tell you, that's 4 minutes a K for 160 kilometers, 4:04. People love watching the 100-meter final, but I guarantee you they spend more time at the ultramarathon. Customers love a great launch, but they want you there in 2 years' time. And I think that that's worth thinking about. You know, Usain Bolt burns bright like a sparkler, but right now, I think that in 2023, the sparklers that we've had on the African continent, roughly 8,000 startups were enjoyed last year. About 20% of them are already out of business. In 5 years' time, 49% of them will be out of business. What does that mean? It means 51% of those companies have something special. How can we be the bulb rather than sparkler? Well, I think there are 3 key areas to concentrate on. Stability, security, and sustainability. And I want to spend just 5 minutes talking around them. So, stability. Any of you run and you're not doing your core training? If you want to take a good 20 minutes off your next marathon, work in the gym. No one would argue with you if you said that we're in a boom period from a gaming perspective. If you just walk around the floor here and you talk around the subscriber numbers, the returning customers, you would know that we are winning at this stage. People want to spend time with what we are doing. This boom period for the new entrants is a time to work on the foundation of the organization, creating a company that can last. It's tempting to only look at the next month or the next quarter. You know, it's tempting to go and buy the new offices. It's tempting to go and invest in the new shiny toys, furniture, shelves, uniforms, but it's probably not going to be adding to the bottom line like you would like. So what I'm saying to you is we need to be sensible as leaders. Sensible expansion is looking at the now and saying, do I really need it? Do I need to invest in that immediate spend in order to get the immediate gratification? If you're like me and you've got children, we try and teach them about the benefit of waiting for that gratification. The industry we are in gaming talks around instant gratification. We must be careful of drinking our own Kool-Aid. Gradual growth talks around new space. If you're considering buying a place that's got a fountain outside, I would say that's probably worth thinking about. Why not rent for that first year? Lower cost gives you the option to change. When we're buying software, think about cloud subscriptions rather than investing in on-prem. Partner for staff. Find a partner that has the same culture as we have, that you can scale your staffing up and down depending where you are in that growth cycle. Profitability over scale. Do you know how much your customers cost you to acquire? And do you understand how much it's costing you every time they leave? If it's not making money, building your brand, or keeping your customers, think 3 times before spending on it. And lastly, you don't have to own it all. Careful of the ego within your management team. Own a section of it and own that section well so that you can grow off that sustainable foundation. Partners are not the enemy. Partners are not the enemy. Make sure the hoops you make them jump through before you work with them is creating a surface for expansion. Let's talk a little bit about technology security. More records have been broken in the last 3 years in the running in athletics than in the previous 15 because of technology. Athletics used to be the last bastion of human endeavors, and now it's been overtaken by technology. They're banning shoes quicker than they are releasing them. It's the same in our space. And the bad news is the evil actors have got better technology than you do. We need to concentrate on what the baddies are doing with AI. Every time I've listened to a talk today, we've spoken about AI. Please believe me, it's being commoditized by the bad actors. You need to know what's going on from a tech perspective. Invest, upgrade, and review on a regular basis. That's why cloud gives you the power. Use cloud providers that give you free security and free access to it. Know the rules of where you are operating so that you can use that to your benefit and have backup plans for when the bad guys break in. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So how do we minimize that break-in so you can go faster than they do? And then lastly, and I'm seeing a lot of this at this event, join your communities. Know your neighbors, know your competitors, know your suppliers, so that you can join these communities and together can be better than the bad guys. And this means you've got to speak to your staff on all levels about the technology and the threats that are out there. Let's talk around staff. Just an interesting thing. AI, we've spoken about it. On average, $300,000 is the damages to enterprises from AI attacks alone. That's one small sector of online attacks and threats. It's quite an interesting one. That came from Liminal, came in, the research is on their Regulars Identity Verification Report, Regular. So, sustainable employment. Kipchoge did not break the 2 hours marathon mark on his own. He had a team around you. You are not an island, you need a team. The problem is that our teams are being poached by a number of areas. We have got the lure of London. People want to work in London because they get paid well. We can do that. We've just heard that on stage here. We can do that in South Africa as well and the African continent. We need to give our staff the best opportunities to stay right here. So we need to retain them by sharing our brand. The brand that we share with our punters, we should share internally as well. And that means we have to be role models as leaders. The type of people we want to attract are going to be like us. So if you're a bit of a dodgy bugger, you're going to get dodgy people. The second thing is that people join companies and they leave managers. If your managers are not trained and are not spending time with your staff are going to leave. So we have to ensure that our managers who are managing can manage. So teach them how to manage. And then the last one is, once we've had people in, don't leave them. We need to give them opportunities to move as this boom is growing through sensible management practices. Now, the two are synonymous with one another. The word sensible and management should go together. So good luck with that. As soon as you crack the code, let me know. I want to just say that if we refocus our people, there's a couple of folks I've met here that have been in the same organization 10, 15 years. There is enough opportunity within our environment in order to get it right. We're booming, we're in growth, we don't have to lose people. We can redirect them. So, in 10 seconds, I'm going to be finished. If you want to finish the race, the 3 S's is not the panacea for all your problems. But I tell you what, they will create a difference between you and your competitors. Stability in your organization through sensible expansion. Creating a secure environment where you're not exposed to unnecessary technology risks. And then sustainability from an employee perspective. It's not for everyone, but if you don't want to be fly by night, perhaps it's for you. I'm Daniel. I'd like to invite you all for a drink because I think they are buying. So on that note, I'm done.